can do this exercise with a barbell. You can do this with dumbbells as well. We're gonna demonstrate it with a barbell here. He's gonna grab that bar. He's gonna grab it just like he would with his clean grip, so just outside the shoulders here. He's gonna step up out of the rack here. Now when he steps up here, I want his feet directly underneath his hips, so it's gonna be a little bit more narrow. I want shoulder blades down and back. He's gonna try and bend this bar around his waist here, so that's gonna set his lats. He's gonna make sure that he's nice and firm. Stacking the rib cage down here, making sure he's not gonna collapse, arch that back, or expand when he's pulling. Now, even though that he's hinging, I want him to think about that he's trying to move the earth down as he bends over here and he turns it into a push going down into the ground. So he's gonna start to push his butt backwards, and I'm gonna have him pause down there. Knees are softly bent. Hinge at that waist, he's pushing his butt backwards. Now, if you look at his feet, the weight is gonna be mid-foot. All his weight's gonna be mid-foot. It's the same stance. Now stand up for me. If I take a close-up of just his foot, I can't tell if he's at the top of the RDL or at the bottom of the RDL. That tells me he's rooted into the ground and he understands where his force is coming from. Now let's go back down again here. Okay, set that back, bend that bar around you. Knees are staying fixed in a fixed position here. Now he's only going to basically the bottom of his knees because that's where his range of motion is. If he would go any farther than that, he may end up rounding his back or bending it down, turning into a squat. So work in your own range of motion here. When he's at that bottom position here, he's gonna start to push down to the ground, and he's gonna feel the pressure of loading through the hamstrings and through the hips here. Okay, give me about like 4 reps of that. Bend that bar around you here. Now from here, instead of pulling back and jerking on that lower back here, he is pressing down, squeezing his butt, and he's gonna be more powerful, and it's gonna be more athletic because now we're targeting the hammies and the butt. Good. Now, can you do me a favor? Can you show me a bad rep where you pull backwards? Okay. Now, this is gonna be a bad rep here. I've tucked his shirt in so you can start to see him arching his back and trying to pull this using his back, not his hips here. Okay. So hinge at that waist. Now, you're gonna see he's gonna pull his chest up, big arch in his back. Give me one, go here, expand that chest. Okay. So he's gonna hinge, he's gonna get that chest up and pull backwards here, and he's putting all that strain in his disc and they're rubbing together instead of being nice and firm and staying locked in here. So understanding again, can I stack here and here without the collapse or the expansion is gonna be key to all of our movements. Okay, go ahead, rack that. The next one that we can do, once you understand double leg, is now we can go into single leg. This is a phenomenal exercise for hip stability, not only on the leg that's working, but now also on the leg that's staying up here. We can go barbell, we can go dumbbell as well here. If an athlete is having a hard time with balance, believe it or not, going with the dumbbell, going with the barbell, or going with 2 dumbbells is actually going to give them better support. So I would start with that first before we go into contralateral with 1 dumbbell here. Okay, so Lane's gonna grab that bar. Same setup that he was at. Now, you guys can play with your grip as well. You don't always have to stay tight. I like to work a little bit more of posture and moving my hands out into a snatch grip as well. So that's always an option if you wanna do this. Okay, he's gonna step out of that rack just like he just did with the double-legged. Now he's gonna be extended here with the off leg here. Okay, his left leg is gonna be his leg that's coming up. Now think about this as a hinge. However far that he hinges over is as high as that leg's gotta stay up. So he's not gonna have any bent leg here. He's gonna drive like he's pressing into a band, and he's gonna press through the ground with that down leg. So show me a few examples here. Give me about 4 reps here, Lang. Extending through that left heel, same thing, knee is softly bent, and he's gonna press down with that right heel into the ground so he can stand up. And he's rotating, he's not pulling through the back. This is a rotating motion. And if you guys look, his hips are staying closed. A telltale sign is where this back foot is pointing. The back foot, if he does it wrong and he opens up that hip and crosses over it, that toe is gonna be pointed out. So I wanna make sure that that toe is closed because this hip is closed. And that tells me he's loading that hip the way I want him to. Good, go ahead, rack that. So our next level into our hinging here is now we're gonna progress from our RDLs with our barbell and dumbbell. Now we're gonna go into contralateral, okay? Contralateral means is it's gonna be one dumbbell and one leg. So whatever leg that I have on the ground, the opposite hand is gonna be holding that dumbbell. So if my right leg is on the ground, my left hand is gonna have that dumbbell. As we do this one here, now we're got to think about anti-rotation because my arm wants to rotate with that weight. I like this exercise. We have to hold stability through our backside. Hip has got to stay closed here. Dumbbell's got to stay on the left side. It's great to watch if you have an opportunity barefoot with your athlete here. What's happening at the foot? Is the foot collapsing, causing that knee to cave in? If you're with a big group, I wouldn't recommend that because somebody may drop a weight on their toe. But if you're in a one-on-one setting here, there's an opportunity. This is a good exercise to work on your balance here, okay? So let's grab that weight. Just like our other hinges here, the hinging is going to take place from the hip here. Now, big setup here. Shoulder blade has got to be down and back, just like bending that bar around. If that shoulder is already rolling forward, he's going to start rotating early here, okay? Shoulder down and back. Dumbbell's going to stay on his right side here. Left leg is going to be on that ground. Just like our single leg RDL with the barbell or with that dumbbell, is he's going to create tension and drive that leg backwards. Give that a shot, Lang. Dumbbell's going to stay on the right side, not crossing over that midline here. That hip is closed. He's got really good balance. Now, if you notice, he hasn't touched his other foot, his right foot on the ground or touched his feet together. I want to make sure that's happening. He's taking his time to get that hip extended, squeezing that butt here. If you're losing your balance and you need to break it up, do one of two things. Lighten the load here, go a little bit lighter. Or, if you absolutely have to, lightly touch that foot back down and then go back up. But try and save those for reserves. I wouldn't want to make sure every rep is like that. I would want to see, can we get as much balance work as we can? Here's the other side for Lang. Shoulders down and back here. Squeezing his left butt cheek. Hip is going to be closed. Pushing his leg backwards here. And as he stands up, he's pushing his leg into the ground to squeeze that right butt cheek. And as you can see, lower back is flat. Water glass right there. Water glass on his upper back. Good. Go ahead and set that down.